It is no news that China has always been technologically ahead of other countries in the world, especially the United States. Well, it seems the Chinese are maintaining this reputation with the recent news of their new military invisibility suits. According to various stories on Chinese social media, the Chinese army has received its first batch of 1,000 invisibility suits. These stories claim that the suits can make soldiers almost completely invisible, blending into their surroundings. This surprising move by China is making people wonder about the future of military actions and the balance of power around the world. But are the suits really as incredible as the Chinese say it is? And what implications do they hold for international security? Let's find out. The Chinese military invisibility suits. Recently, there have been interesting stories about the Chinese military, the People's Liberation Army, also known as the PLA, possibly having new suits that make soldiers invisible. Although there isn't official proof from Chinese authorities saying that these suits exist, it isn't far-fetched to believe that they do, especially since the Chinese already developed an invisibility cloak. There are several reasons people are convinced that the Chinese have made these suits, and one of them is the fact that it gives them an upper hand in war. Being invisible can help Chinese soldiers in combat move without being seen, surprise the enemy, and stay safe. The Chinese invisibility military suits are said to help soldiers do this by making them nearly invisible to the naked eye, and maybe to other detection methods like infrared cameras. Besides combat, invisibility suits can help in reconnaissance missions. Soldiers can gather information without being seen, providing valuable details about enemy positions and movements. Creating suits like these cannot in any way be a small feat even for an advanced country like China. So, how exactly did the Chinese do it? Now, a big part of making these invisibility suits work is a material called malonium trioxide. This special material has unique properties that make it good for creating invisibility. Malonium trioxide can control how energy flows, bending light around an object to make it invisible. Normally, when light hits an object, it bounces back, making the object visible. But with malonium trioxide, the light bends around the object instead of bouncing back. This effect works not only with visible light, but also with ultraviolet and infrared light, which are used in many detection technologies. Earlier attempts to create invisibility used something called metamaterials. Metamaterials are engineered materials that can do things ordinary materials can't, like bending light in unusual ways. But metamaterials are very complex and hard to make, which makes large-scale production difficult and expensive. Malonium trioxide is simpler and more efficient. Unlike metamaterials, it is easier to produce and work with. This material can be made in larger quantities, making it more practical for things like military suits. The simplicity and effectiveness of malonium trioxide in bending light make it a good choice for creating invisibility technology. Now, we have established that the Chinese are setting the standard by creating these suits. But, are they the only ones who have successfully incorporated the concept of invisibility into an object? The answer is no. Many other countries and companies have invented different invisibility-based equipment as well. Stay tuned to discover what these other equipment are. The Invisibility Shield. Invisibility Shield Co., a company based in London, took innovation to the next level by creating a tool called the Invisibility Shield. This shield uses transparent polycarbonate and special lenses to scatter light and make objects behind it invisible. The Invisibility Shield works in a very interesting way. It is made from a special kind of plastic called polycarbonate. This plastic is transparent, which means you can see through it. But the real magic happens because of the lenses embedded in the shield. These lenses are arranged in a way that they scatter the light that hits the shield. When light from the surroundings hits the shield, it gets bent and spread out. This bending and spreading of light creates an effect where the light from the background blends with the light from the person standing behind the shield. As a result, the person becomes very hard to see, almost invisible. The Invisibility Shield 2.0 is very large, which means it can cover more area and hide bigger objects or more people. It is also light, making it easier to carry around and set up. The design makes it very stable, so it can stand firmly even in windy conditions, or when there is a lot of movement. These features make the Invisibility Shield incredibly practical and useful in a variety of situations. Now we know how amazing this shield is, but in what situations can it be used? The Invisibility Shield 2.0 has many practical uses. First off, it can be used in wildlife observation. When people want to watch animals in their natural habitat, they need to be very quiet and still, so the animals don't notice them. The invisibility shield can help with this because it makes the observer nearly invisible to the animals. This allows people to watch wildlife closely without disturbing them. That's not all. The invisibility shield has been used in some fun and creative ways. For example, it was used in a Korean dating show. The show used the shield to create surprising and entertaining moments for the audience. It has also been used in paintball games. Players can hide behind the shield and surprise their opponents, making the game more exciting. Magicians and performers use the shield in stage illusions to make objects, or even themselves, disappear, creating amazing visual effects. People also use it to hide small items on their desks or around the house, adding a bit of fun to everyday life. As amazing as this tool is, it isn't the only incredible invisible object that exists today: the invisible car. Despite already being one of the biggest companies in the world, Mercedes-Benz is taking things a step further with their new invisible car. To make the car look invisible, Mercedes-Benz used two main things: LEDs and a camera. LEDs are small lights that can change colors. They put a lot of these LED lights on one side of the car. On the other side of the car, they put a camera. This camera takes pictures of what is behind the car. The camera then sends these pictures to the LED lights. The LED lights show these pictures on the side of the car. This makes it look like the car is blending into the background. If you look at the car from the side with the LEDs, you see the images from the camera. It looks like you are seeing right through the car to the other side. This makes the car appear almost invisible. It is a very clever trick that works really well. The invisible car is a brilliant example of how technology and creativity can come together to create something truly extraordinary. With this car in existence, it won't be long before companies start to produce even more innovative invisible objects. Although this is an amazing achievement, Mercedes-Benz isn't the only company that's using the concept of invisibility to reach new heights. In the next part of this video, we'll be exploring another company that's changing the game with their invisibility tool: Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corp's invisible material. A Canadian company called Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corp. used a special kind of invisibility called quantum invisibility to create a thin, invisible material. The amazing thing about this material is that it does not need any power source to work. The secret to how this invisibility technology works is the way it bends light rays. Light usually travels in straight lines. When it hits an object, it bounces back, and we can see the object. But the invisibility fabric from Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corp changes the way light behaves. When light hits this fabric, it does not bounce back in the usual way. Instead, the light rays are bent and scattered. This makes the object behind the fabric almost invisible. But things don't end there. This bending of light rays is not just in the visible spectrum. It also works with ultraviolet light and infrared light. This means that the fabric can hide objects from more than just the human eye. It can also hide objects from cameras and other detection devices that use ultraviolet or infrared light. The foundations for the technology used in making this amazing material were laid as far back as 2010. The company's founder, Guy Kramer, believes that this material has great potential. So, to protect this concept from being stolen, he has filed 4 patent applications for the technologies that make this material work. This means that Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corp has the exclusive right to use and sell this amazing invisibility fabric. Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corp is working with many countries to use this technology. Some of the countries that are interested in using this invisibility fabric, particularly for their law enforcement operations, include the United States, Canada, and India. Other countries that might use this technology include Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Slovakia, and New Zealand. This invention is clearly a remarkable achievement and has the potential to change many aspects of law enforcement operations. So, which of these uses of invisibility technology do you think is the most innovative? Let us know in the comments below. Please like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.